Have you ever noticed that lately, you just don't feel quite like yourself? Maybe your energy runs out faster than it used to. Maybe just walking to the mailbox leaves you needing to sit down for a while. Or perhaps your sleep feels restless, your mood more fragile, and your breath just a little shorter than before. If you've had moments like that, where something just feels off, believe me, you're not alone. And more importantly, it might be your heart trying to speak to you, quietly. Now, I know it's easy to chalk these things up to just getting older. That's what many of us do. But here's the truth, while aging does bring changes, it doesn't mean we have to silently accept every ache, every tired sigh, or every flutter of worry. Especially when it comes to the heart. The heart isn't just a muscle. It's the quiet engine behind every moment we cherish. And sometimes, when it starts to struggle, it whispers before it ever screams. That's why this conversation today is so important. Because there are signs, subtle, easily overlooked signs, that your heart might not be working as smoothly as it once did. They're not always dramatic. There's no pounding chest pain or flashing red light. Sometimes, it's something as ordinary as swollen ankles or feeling unusually tired. But these little clues, if we pay attention to them, can help us take action early, and protect not just our health, but our independence, our comfort, and our peace of mind. So in today's video, we're going to gently walk through 5 of these silent signs that your heart might be struggling, especially after 60. And don't worry, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to walk beside you, to help you tune into your body a little more kindly, and to remind you that even small changes can lead to big improvements in how you feel, day by day. And if you love topics like this, about health, emotional well-being, and how to live a life filled with meaning and calm, please give this video a like, share it with someone who might need it, and hit that subscribe button. I'm on a journey to reach 1,000 subscribers so we can keep growing this gentle community, where everyone matters and every story counts. Now, let's begin with one of the most overlooked signs, something many people think is just part of aging. But it could be your heart asking for help. Fatigue that lingers. Not just the kind that comes after a long day, but the kind that makes simple tasks feel like climbing a hill. Have you felt like your energy has drained even before the day really begins? Maybe brushing your hair, tidying up the living room, or making a cup of tea feels like it takes more effort than it used to. It's tempting to brush this off. Maybe you didn't sleep well, maybe the weather is gloomy, maybe it's just one of those days. But if this feeling lingers day after day, it's worth listening to. Because when the heart isn't pumping efficiently, your body doesn't get the oxygen it needs. That tiredness? It's not in your head. It's in your cells, craving more support. I remember speaking to a lovely man in his early 70s, let's call him Jim. He was always active, used to enjoy gardening and playing with his grandkids. Then, over the span of a few months, he just started slowing down. He thought maybe he was just getting old. But one morning, after needing to sit down while brushing his teeth, his wife gently nudged him to go in for a checkup. Turns out, his heart was working overtime trying to keep up. But the beauty of Jim's story is this, he caught it early. With some medication adjustments, light movement, and a few lifestyle tweaks, he was back planting tomatoes within weeks. The body is resilient, but we have to listen when it whispers. Now let's talk about another sign that seems harmless, even annoying at times, but it can be far more telling than most people realize. Swelling in your feet or ankles. Have you ever looked down and noticed your socks leaving deep marks around your ankles? Or maybe your shoes feel tighter by the afternoon than they did in the morning. This puffiness, especially when it's not related to standing too long or salty foods, can be your heart sending out a quiet distress signal. When the heart isn't pumping blood efficiently, fluid starts to back up, often in the legs and feet, thanks to gravity. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't scream. But it speaks. And if we pause long enough to notice it, we can respond before it becomes a bigger issue. It's okay to feel concerned when these things happen. But what I want to encourage you to do is this, approach your body with curiosity, not fear. Ask yourself, is this new? Is this lingering? Has this changed from a few months ago? Our bodies are like old friends. They tell us what they need, but they whisper. They don't always shout. And especially after 60, it's not about chasing youth. It's about honoring today's body, today's heart, and asking what it needs from us now. A gentle way to monitor swelling is to press a finger gently into your lower shin. If a dent stays behind for a while, that could be fluid retention. That doesn't mean panic, it means observation. It means calling your doctor, mentioning what you've noticed, and starting a conversation. And remember, none of this means you're broken. Your body is simply adapting, shifting, and sometimes asking for a little help. Maybe that help is more walking, less sodium, or a little medication. Maybe it's just awareness. The kindest thing we can do for ourselves isn't to push harder, but to listen deeper. Before we move forward, take a breath with me. Just a nice, gentle breath in and out. You're doing great. You're showing up for yourself today. And that's more than enough. Now that we've talked about these two subtle but powerful signals, lingering fatigue and swelling in the lower legs, let's explore another gentle sign that often goes unnoticed, yet carries so much meaning. Changes in your breathing. I'm not talking about those moments when you walk up a steep hill or rush to catch the phone. Anyone would feel winded then. I mean something softer, something slower. A shortness of breath that comes even while you're resting, or doing something simple, like folding laundry or walking to the kitchen. Maybe you've started noticing that you can't finish a sentence without needing to catch your breath, or lying flat in bed suddenly feels uncomfortable, like you need to prop yourself up with pillows to feel okay. This kind of change doesn't always come with chest pain or palpitations. It's not dramatic. And that's exactly why it's so easy to ignore. But our lungs and our heart are partners, they work together, every moment of every day. And when one begins to struggle, the other tries to help. So when the heart starts having trouble keeping up, your lungs step in, and you begin to feel it in your breathing. It's gentle at first. A little sigh here, a little breathlessness there. And just like that, the body is speaking again, if only we're willing to listen. Let me tell you a small story. There was a woman I met once, her name was Rosa. She was 68, gentle-voiced, the kind of person who always had a warm smile even on tough days. One afternoon, she told me she'd been feeling a little winded lately. Just getting the mail was a task. But she blamed it on the weather, on the pollen, on being out of shape. Still, something didn't sit right. Her daughter convinced her to get it checked, and thank goodness she did. Her heart wasn't pumping as effectively as it should. She was in the early stages of heart failure. But because they caught it early, she had choices. She made a few lifestyle changes, started a gentle walking routine, and with some support from her doctor, she felt better in a few weeks. Rosa told me something I'll never forget. She said, "I never knew how hard I was working just to breathe. I just thought that's what getting older meant." So let's take that lesson to heart. Literally. If your breathing feels different, more effortful, or like it just takes more out of you than before, pause. Don't push through. Don't minimize it. Your heart may be whispering through your lungs. And the sooner we notice, the better we can care for it. Now, I want to talk about something that touches not only your physical body, but your emotional well-being too. Something many people would never think to connect with their heart health: changes in your mood, especially if you're feeling more anxious, unsettled, or even down, without a clear reason. It might surprise you, but the heart and the mind are deeply connected. When the heart isn't getting enough oxygen-rich blood, it can affect everything, including your brain's chemistry and your overall emotional balance. That lingering feeling of sadness, restlessness, or unexplained irritability. Sometimes, it's not just in your head. Sometimes, it's in your chest, in your heart, trying to carry more than it can handle. And here's something else. When people feel more tired, less capable, or notice changes in their ability to do things they used to enjoy, it can quietly wear away at their confidence. They stop reaching out. They stop going for walks or calling friends. A kind of emotional fog can settle in. But behind that emotional shift, there may be something very physical happening, something that needs attention and support. I remember a kind gentleman named Harold. He used to laugh so easily. He was the life of every room he entered. Then, over the course of several months, he became quieter, more withdrawn. His wife said he just wasn't himself. He said he didn't feel depressed, exactly, but he couldn't find joy in the little things anymore. It turned out, his heart wasn't pumping well enough, and it was starting to affect his brain's oxygen levels. With the right care and some gentle lifestyle shifts, his energy began to return, and with it, so did his smile. So if you felt more irritable lately, or less excited about things you used to enjoy, please don't brush it off as just aging. You deserve to feel peace and lightness in your days. And sometimes, the path back to that begins with listening to the quieter messages your body sends. And now, let's talk about one more subtle sign, something that feels so small, it often goes completely unnoticed, even though it can tell us so much about what's happening in the heart. Poor appetite or nausea. Now, I know, it doesn't seem like these would have anything to do with your heart. But they can. When the heart isn't functioning properly, blood can start to back up into other parts of the body, including the liver and digestive system. That can lead to discomfort in the belly, bloating, and a feeling of fullness even when you haven't eaten much. You might start skipping meals, feeling nauseated for no clear reason, or simply losing interest in food. It's subtle, right? Especially if you already have a smaller appetite, or if your meals have become simpler over time. But the change matters. It's another way your body might be waving a tiny flag, saying, "Pay attention to me." And while it might not seem urgent, it's still important. Sometimes, these digestive symptoms are misdiagnosed as acid reflux, stomach trouble, or even anxiety. And while those things can happen too, it's always worth exploring whether the heart is involved. Especially when these symptoms come alongside fatigue, swelling, breathlessness, or mood changes. So, what can we do when we notice these quiet changes? First and foremost, don't panic. Awareness is powerful. Your body is not failing you. It's communicating. And when we meet that communication with compassion, not fear, we open the door to healing. Talk to your doctor, even if it feels like a small thing. You're never wasting their time. Your health is worth paying attention to, every part of it, even the quietest parts. And second, be kind to yourself. Truly. When you wake up tired, or notice a change in your breath, or your mood feels off, don't scold yourself. Don't say, "I should be stronger," or "I'm just getting old." Say instead, "I'm learning to listen. My body is speaking. And I'm here for it." These small signs, these quiet whispers, they're not weaknesses. They're wisdom. They're your body's way of protecting you before things become urgent. That's a gift. One we should treat with care. Let's take another gentle breath together. In, and out. You're doing so well. Truly. Just being here, learning, opening yourself to this conversation, shows so much courage and care. Next, we'll explore the final sign that your heart may be sending, and talk about simple, meaningful ways to support your heart every single day, without fear, without pressure, just with love. One more subtle but powerful sign, and this one often slips under the radar because it shows up in such an ordinary place, your legs and feet. But when your ankles begin to swell or your shoes start feeling tighter than usual, even when you haven't changed your routine or eaten anything especially salty, it could be your heart gently asking for your attention. Swelling in the lower legs, especially if it's happening by the end of the day, can be a signal that the heart is not pumping blood as efficiently as it should. When that happens, fluid starts to collect in the body's tissues, and gravity naturally pulls that extra fluid down to your feet and ankles. You might notice that your socks leave deeper marks than usual. Maybe your legs feel heavier, or it's harder to get your shoes on in the morning. Now, of course, there are many reasons legs might swell: standing too long, warm weather, certain medications, but when it becomes a consistent, unexplained pattern, it's time to look a little deeper. The heart and the circulatory system are intricate partners. And sometimes the body's first hint that something isn't quite right is through the slow, quiet change in how your legs look or feel. A dear friend of mine, Tom, told me once that he thought his swelling ankles were just a sign he needed to walk more. He said, "Maybe I've been sitting too much." But then he started feeling more tired, and his pants felt tighter around the calves. That's when his wife insisted they check in with their doctor. As it turned out, Tom's heart was working overtime, and struggling a bit more than it should. With care, gentle treatment, and a few adjustments to his lifestyle, things improved. He always said, "It wasn't the swelling that scared me, it was how long I ignored it." That really stayed with me. Because it reminds us how easy it is to overlook these signs, especially when they don't come with pain or big, dramatic changes. They arrive softly, almost politely. But they matter. So, if your body is showing you something new, an ache, a breath, a feeling, a shape, pause. Tune in. Place your hand gently on your chest and remind yourself, this heart has been beating every single second for you. Every single day. It deserves your attention. It deserves your care. And now that we've walked through these 5 gentle but important signals: unexplained fatigue, breathlessness during rest, mood changes, digestive discomfort, and swelling in the legs, what can we actually do about them? Here's the beautiful part: healing doesn't need to be harsh. It doesn't need to be overwhelming. You don't have to change everything at once. In fact, the most powerful healing often comes from the smallest, most loving choices. Let's start with awareness. Just becoming aware of these signs is already a huge step. When we know what to look for, we can catch things early, long before they turn into emergencies. That gives us choices. It gives us peace of mind. And it brings us back into partnership with our own bodies, instead of feeling like we're at war with aging. Next, let's talk about kindness. Not just kindness toward others, but toward yourself. Speak to your body as you would a beloved friend. If you're tired, rest. If you're worried, seek answers. If you feel off, trust yourself. You've lived long enough to know when something isn't quite right, even if you can't put your finger on it. That wisdom is priceless. Honor it. And, when you're ready, take gentle action. Book that doctor's appointment. Keep a little journal of how you feel each day. Drink more water. Move your body in ways that feel good. Laugh more. Stress less. Take those quiet walks, or sit by the window with a good book and just breathe. Nourish your heart with joy as much as with food. Because here's something I believe with all my heart: it's never too late to feel better. To feel lighter. To feel more you. Whether you're 60, 70, or beyond, your life is not behind you. It's right here. Right now. And you get to choose how to care for yourself in it. I know sometimes the world makes it easy to feel invisible as we get older. But I want to say this clearly to you now: you matter. Your health matters. Your comfort, your energy, your peace, they all matter. You are not a burden. You are not too late. You are not just getting old. You are alive. And that is enough reason to care, to ask questions, to keep growing and listening to your beautiful, faithful heart. So if you've heard something in this video that feels familiar, whether it's the tiredness, the breathlessness, the change in mood, the appetite shift, or the swelling, I want you to take that not as something scary, but as something empowering. It means your body is communicating. It means you have time to respond. It means you can take steps, big or small, that honor your well-being. And if you've been feeling great, with none of these signs, that's a blessing worth celebrating. But even then, staying informed helps you take even better care of yourself, and maybe even helps you notice something in a loved one, too. We're all in this together. And this little space we've shared today, right here, is a reminder that none of us are alone. There's always room to learn, to listen, and to love ourselves a little more. Before we close, I'd love to know, have you ever experienced one of these quiet signs before? Maybe you noticed something and didn't know it could be connected to your heart. Or maybe you've been through a health journey and want to share what helped you most. I truly believe we heal better when we share stories. So please, if you feel comfortable, leave a comment below. Let's start a gentle, supportive conversation. And if this video helped you feel more informed or a little more hopeful, I'd be so grateful if you gave it a like, shared it with someone who might need it, and hit that subscribe button. I'm on a mission to create a peaceful space for conversations about health, healing, and living meaningfully after 60, and your support makes all the difference. Your heart has carried you through every joy and every hardship. It's still beating for you now, asking only for your care and kindness in return. So here's to your heart. May it beat strong. May it beat free. And may you feel deeply, truly loved, starting with yourself. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. You're doing beautifully.